Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will be addressing my speech in uniform. Why? That's because I forget to set a formal clothes. But I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, because the topic I'm going to share today is related to you and me, and everyone. It's related to us students. Oh, no offense, teachers. Yeah, it's related to students, and it's something we experienced or are experiencing. So without further ado, let me jump into my speech. Just a couple of months ago, in a college preparation class, we were discussing the topic of rounded versus spiked. For those of you who don't quite understand the industry slang, rounded means above average on almost everything, while spiked means even with some weaknesses, there's something about you that really stands out. So, which one's better? As the teacher's voice rang in my ears, I began to feel that same feeling that I experienced over and over again. It is a feeling that pulls my heart. It appears whenever someone mentions a topic that relates to a speciality, or when I was thinking about the future. It was not until the teacher announced both are good that I finally let out a sigh of relief. However, deep in my heart, I know which one is more preferred. To me, that is spiked. And the reason for that feeling to occur is because I've been so rounded that I never found any spike, or I never intended to. Throughout middle school, I've been busy studying, so I could do better in the high school entrance exam. I never thought about what I was interested in and what I was wanting to do. I'm not the kind of person who demonstrates his or her gift in a certain area at a very young age. As I mentioned before, I'm rounded. Nothing too good, nothing too bad. In the public middle school where I attended, since all we thought about was how to improve our high school entrance exam score by 1. First, I don't have the time to think about what I'm passionate about. Second, I get good test results for being a rounded person, so why not just stick to being a rounded person? However, things changed after I entered the international program in high school. Here, my goal is no longer to score better on selective exam, which in the context of being a high school student is the college entrance exam. It becomes rather to find a field that I'm interested in and dive into that field. This pressure made me realize that I have to find something I'm passionate about and something I want to pursue. However, I have no idea where to begin. Wanted to know what others had in mind, I casted a questionnaire. Based on the questionnaire, I found out I am not alone. Among samples collected, up to 3 people reported having confusion about the future day and night. On the opposite side of the scale, only 3 people reported that they never had any confusion about the future. The rest think about this problem either occasionally or when brought up by someone else. It seems like most teenagers like us have some confusion about the future. What's interesting is that when it comes to the question, have you determined your future major? Half the subjects responded by saying, I only have a vague interest. And the other half suggested, already determined. If we look at the data more closely, we come to an interesting conclusion. That is, among the students who attend the international program, 63% of them reported already determined. For the students who attend high school entrance exam program, only 20% of students reported already determined. But why? Luckily, I included a question that asked, what is your daily study time? Which is the time you spend on having classes and doing homework. The number for international students, or students taking the international path, is 9.8 hours. As for the students taking the high school entrance exam path, this number is 11.6 hours. This result might come as no surprise. But let me ask the question again. Why? To be more specific, why does the difference in the study time result in the extent to which they planned out their future. According to my personal experience, the key lies in your free time. It is obvious that the more time you spend on studying, the less time you have to give life a pause. By pause, I mean a pause from studying. What can you do during a pause, you may ask? One great activity to do is to participate in research, and that is what I did. It is a research and academic essay writing program in the discipline of social science, during which I collected over 500 questionnaires to obtain the original data for my paper about the relationship between age and the extent of the digital divide. After finishing this program, I determined, firmly, with great satisfaction, that I'm going to devote myself to something unrelated to social science. You might think, oh, Benny, this is such a waste of time. Alas, you realize this is not what you like. I'm so sorry. I mean, elimination is also good, no? The truth is, although social science might not be my favorite subject, I got to know how to conduct research, how to seek help from a tutor, and how to write an academic paper from scratch. Just like Confucius saying, roads were made for journeys, not destinations. Yet, sometimes, the journey becomes so brilliant that you decided to make that your destination. Besides taking part in academic programs, I also read books, like algorithm books and economic books. To me, terms like recursion, dynamic programming, and greedy algorithm sound so much better than terms like supply, demand, and monopoly. It is at that moment that I realized I finally found my passion. The feeling of being passionate about something, I can tell you, is almost the exact opposite as not having a spark. It is a warm feeling. I'm also so grateful and relieved that it is not that I don't have a passion. It's just my passion's been waiting for me quietly. Had it not been for the time I spent pausing from dealing with infinite homework sitting in front of the table, that's an exaggeration, of course, I would not have found my passion. If you're like me, with passion in mind, wanting to walk the path in front of you, you might see a few rocks blocking your way. The first one might be, what if the subject I'm passionate about is over-competitive? This is reasonable, since the world's demand for capable professionals is limited. However, creativity is unlimited. So the solution to this problem is to approach the discipline more creatively. How to be more creative, you may ask? Well, the answer is, take a pause. Isaac Newton got his inspiration when he was chilling under an apple tree, and Linus Torvalds created Linux when the University of Helsinki didn't bother to give too much homework. If that is not convincing enough, according to a neuroscientist from the University of South Carolina, spacing out, which is a great way for taking a pause, by letting our default mode in brain to take control can boost creativity. The second rock might be, what if I'm not good enough at what I'm passionate about? What if there's some concept in that discipline I can't understand? In response to this question, I want to share an interesting and exciting speech by Sal Khan, the founder of Khan Academy, also at TED. According to him, anyone can master anything with a concept called mastery learning. In opposition to education nowadays, which artificially constrains how long students learn something, pretty much ensuring a variable outcome, mastery learning ensures that the mastery of a certain subject and making the study time for each student vary. To support his point that it actually works, he gave a convincing analogy that if you went back to 400 years in Europe, you ask someone, what will be the literate rate in the future? They might tell you it's 20 to 30%. It's already an optimistic guess because back then it's just above 10%. But the reality is, nowadays, the literacy rate is almost 100%. Similarly, if you ask someone nowadays, what will be the percentage of population that truly comprehend advanced topics like calculus and organic chemistry? They might tell you it's 20 to 30%, right? Are you not the one, like the people back in the Middle Ages, assuming that only 20 to 30% of the people will be literate in the future? Although this might seem like a long process, at least we can apply the mastery learning method. Maybe slowly, but steadily reaching towards the goal. Folks, the key takeaway here can be concluded as GTA. If you feel lost, give life a pause to try and think. Second, if you feel like you're not good enough, try the mastery learning method. 3, if you find the subject of your interest is over-competitive, try to approach it more creatively. If you're lost and you can't see the future, don't give up thinking. After all, it is not in the stars that holds our destiny, but in ourselves. Thank you. Oh, it's hot up here.
Next up, let's welcome Li Xiran Carol.